Hi, it's Gerry, and welcome to day 331 of A Course in Miracles. Today we have a new question. What is the ego? And the reflection goes as follows. The ego is idolatry, the sign of limited and separated self, born in the body, doomed to suffer, and to end its life in death. It is the will that sees the will of God as enemy and takes a form in which it is denied. The ego is the proof that strength is weak and love is fearful. Life is really death, and what opposes God alone is true. The ego is insane. In fear, it stands beyond the everywhere, apart from all, in separation from the infinite. In its insanity, it thinks it has become a victor over God himself. And in its terrible autonomy, it sees the will of God has been destroyed. It dreams of punishment and trembles at the figures in its dreams, its enemies who seek to murder it before it can ensure its safety by attacking them. The Son of God is egoless. What can he know of madness and the death of God when he abides in him? What can he know of sorrow and of suffering when he lives in eternal joy? What can he know of fear and punishment, of sin and guilt, of hatred and attack, when all there is surrounding him is everlasting peace, forever conflict-free and undisturbed, in deepest silence and tranquility? To know reality is not to see the ego and its thoughts, its works, its acts, its laws and its beliefs, its dreams, its hopes, its plans for salvation, and the cost belief in it entails. In suffering, the price for faith in it is so immense that crucifixion of the Son of God is offered daily at its delineated shrine, I think it is. And blood must flow before the altar where its sickly followers prepare to die. Yet will one lily of forgiveness change the darkness into light, the altar to illusions, to the shrine of life itself. And peace will be restored forever to the holy minds which God created as his Son, his dwelling place, his joy, his love, completely his, completely one with him. And I'm not going to say a whole lot because I know I don't have a lot of time, but what that first part reminds me of is really the mind of a dictator. You know, I lived under two dictators, Marcos in the Philippines and Mobutu in what was then called Zaire. Now it's called the Democratic Republic of Congo. But they and other dictators in time, throughout time, all have that mindset of embracing the ego. And they all live in fear. I remember Mobutu especially. He was so afraid to be seen among his people, so afraid of losing power. And he just lived in his own personal hell, really. And that was really sad. I really do hope he found peace in the end. Okay, and you know, the whole image of one finding hope and salvation in the most horrible situations. We find great people coming forward. And, you know, I'm reminded always of people like Viktor Frankl coming out of the Holocaust with his tremendous wisdom that he's given to us. Immaculée Ilibagiza coming out of the Rwandan genocide with her beautiful story of forgiveness. If you haven't read Left to Tell by Immaculée Ilibagiza, I would highly recommend it. So those are my reflections on what is ego. Then, lesson 331, The statement is, "There is no conflict, for my will is yours." And we pray, "How foolish, Father, to believe your Son could cause himself to suffer. Could he make a plan for his damnation and be left without a certain way to its release? You love me, Father. You could never leave me desolate to die within a world of pain and cruelty. How could I think that love has left itself? There is no will except the will of love. Fear is a dream and has no will that can conflict with yours. Conflict is sleep and peace awakening. Death is illusion, life eternal truth. There is no opposition to your will. There is no conflict, for my will is yours." And then we reflect. Forgiveness shows us that God's will is one and that we share it. Let us look upon the holy sights forgiveness shows today, that we may find the peace of God. So focus on forgiveness, and we will find that peace, that holy place, that freedom from conflict. Thank you so much for joining me today. May God bless you abundantly, and I look forward to our conversation tomorrow. Peace be with you.